A list of issues that I'm seeing that are driving people's autoimmunity. Do you have autoimmunity that keeps getting triggered over and over? You have like flare ups, and maybe you have time where you feel much better. I want you to consider that there can be some chemicals involved that you're exposed to. So, I want to break down some triggers that I'm seeing. So, one of the biggest triggers really that I'm seeing besides dangerous chemicals, but is plastics. Are you guys trying to minimize your plastic intake? I'm finding that two things, BPA or a few of the other BPs, and BPA is the one that we kind of test the most, but there's a lot of different BPs in plastics, but also the microplastics. So there are some theories that the microplastics are getting stuck in our body, stuck in our thyroid, stuck in our organs, and our immune system does not recognize us. So this is a really interesting way of taking a look at your body, where your body's used to being exposed to foods and soil and dust and things like that, but it's not really capable of figuring out how to deal with fragrances or Febreze or candle smells or plastics. I just really see a lot of patients coming in using like traditional Tide and really smelly laundry detergent and softeners in their clothes, and you could just smell it, and it's really a real endocrine disrupting problem. So these are things where these chemicals, these fragrances and plastics and just chemicals like cleaning agents, things you have to do to like use to clean your oven or things like that, or things that you're using to spray to wipe down and clean that are not natural, your body doesn't really recognize them. And so these chemicals can get stuck in our body, and our immune system doesn't recognize us. It only sees a chemical bound to us. So it makes us look really unrecognizable. Another really interesting thing that I'm seeing too is food dyes are really interesting like this. They are going through and dyeing the insides of our bodies, getting into our thyroid gland, and our immune system doesn't recognize us. So these are things I want you to really consider, because this is why I've made an autoimmune shift educational program, like a course for you to take, so you can understand some hidden reasons why you might continue to have autoimmune triggers. Because a lot of my patients will get off of gluten, they'll get off of dairy, they'll get on their vitamin D, and they continue to have triggers. So I want you to consider, when you buy brand new clothes off the shelf, maybe they've been sprayed in some sort of chemicals, because that's what happens to clothing when we buy it off of the shelf. So these are all things that say you kind of put your little kids in these little cute little nightgowns and stuff, and all this nightgown wear that they wear, and clothes, super cute like Disney stuff. It's all soaked in flame retardants. So those flame retardants are soaking into the bodies of our babies, and they're increasing the risks of autoimmune disease, cancers, just general them not feeling well. So I want you to consider, what are we getting exposed to? What about our mattresses? Our mattresses and our brand new furniture. Get some furniture off of Wayfair. You get a new rug online, and if they aren't full wool, they'll spray them in flame retardants. That's what makes them safe, so that we can't sue that manufacturer, because it's just some flame retardants are super dangerous for us. So I want you to consider, what is your exposure level? And is your exposure level to chemicals driving your autoimmunity, or did it start it? So there's a very high incidence of people who live near golf courses and live near farms, that their health is diminished and they have a higher risk of getting Parkinson's, and there's more autoimmune disease. So these are all things that are kind of hidden, that we don't really talk about, that I want you to think about. How much of this is in your environment? How much of this do you just purchase on the regular, right? So those of you that are getting the plugins, like those Febreze plugins, getting laundry detergent that has a really strong scent in it. All of these are real problematic for our health. I mean, it's It's irritating to our health, but it also, our immune system, our body absorbs it in, our immune system doesn't recognize us. So I want you to consider thinking about how you're getting exposed, where are the chemicals, what's happening, other things that we don't think about. Those little receipts with the thermal paper that we get after we purchase something, the printing on that receipt has BPA in it, which is soaks into our skin and we can get exposure from that. So avoiding things like that, right? So we really need to think about avoiding plastic water bottles. What's in your water? Are you using like a reverse osmosis water filter? You should. We should really consider lowering our chemical exposure, our chemical load. Okay, so I don't know if any of you have experienced that these types of things have triggered your autoimmunity, but this is exactly why I created my autoimmune shift program, because no one is understanding why their autoimmunity keeps going, and it's not slowing down and it continues to be triggered. So and they're taking medications to calm their immune system down, but really it could be all the Windex and all the 409 and all the cleaning products and the Tide and the dryer sheets and the BPA plastics that from the plastic water bottles and the Febreze plugins and just like I think that our chemical load is heavy, and we get exposure, and people are like worried about heavy metals and such and mold, and yes, but what else? What about the stuff that you're just creating in your environment? What about when you go get your car washed and they say, "Do you want one of these little things to hang from, your rear view mirror that has a smell to it?" No, you don't. No, you don't. Those are really create a lot of chemicals that we're breathing in, and it soaks into our body. So I want you to think about just the ways that you're getting exposed, and I want you to think about going to like the Yuka app. Have you guys heard of the Yuka app? YUKA. It's a really cool app on your phone where you can scan things and you can really see what's the chemical level here, what's the rating, and it'll give you a toxic rating, which tells you if it's high toxin rating, then it's going to be actually, it's a low score. So they'll give you like a 2 or a 10 or a 20. Those are poor numbers. 100 out of 100 would be perfect. Okay, so I want you to start thinking about what's in your toothpaste. I want you to think about scanning your sunscreen. I want you to do your shampoo, and I want you to do your gel in your hair, and I want you to do the lotion that you put on your face. I want you to think about really considering getting rid of the candles the burning candles, unless it's a beeswax or something super safe with essential oils. We are creating pollution. All the Bath and Body Works stuff, all the scented products, right? The bath bombs and the sprays and the perfume and all of these additions that we're doing in our body are so harmful for our body. Our body's like got this burden trying to figure out what it is. And when it comes in and binds to our tissue, then your immune system's like, I don't know what this is. I'm going to keep attacking the chemical and my tissue because they bind together and create a protein that our body doesn't recognize. Our immune system says, I don't know what this is. So when you have autoimmunity, you don't have the bandwidth to continue to dump these chemicals on your body so that you are now flaring up and flaring up and flaring up. So those of you who have positive ANA, Hashimoto's, rheumatoid arthritis, all of us, I'm a positive ANA as well. We have to be extra vigilant about these things. Even when I go into a hotel, they'll put that smelly spray in the air, and it's like some of these hotels I can't stay in. It's just too much, and they'll put a Febreze in the wall or something like that. I went to my aunt's house in Florida last year, and she had 17 Febrezes plugged into her walls. And I went around and pulled them all out, threw them away. And I was like, listen, let me help you with your air pollution. Okay. This is going to cause you to get lung cancer. So stop it, knock it off. If you want to get a diffuser with some essential oils, go for it. If you want to do essential oils all over the place, go for it. Put it in some water on your stove, simmer it down. Great, amazing. But if I really want you to look at the biggest players here are plastic water bottles and their scented laundry detergent, the Febreze plugins and the candles. And then I want you to really get this is a big, we're peeling layers, right? This is like peeling an onion. You just got to go through your house and then go through your house and then go through your house. Because I mean, even me, I had this sort of hair oil that I was using on my hair, and I scanned it from the Yuka app and it gave me a 10 out of 100. And I'm like, this is crazy. So I want you to think about cleaning up your environment so that you can feel like you aren't getting constantly triggered. Now, are you feeling like you are like sneezing when you're in this environment with like you kind of go, oh my gosh, I get in somebody's house and I just start to sneeze? Do you feel like you're constantly like your eyes are watering in certain places? Like I know that if I go by like Abercrombie and Fitch, I'm like, whoo, man, I don't even want to go in there because it's a lot of smells. So other things to think about though, we want to really think about you having cleaner water. Okay. I want you to think about maybe reverse osmosis water system, at least some sort of filter. And I want you to see, can we peel ourselves off of the plastic water bottles? I mean, can we get some metal water bottles that we can reuse and we can bring our water places? You know, can we scan our products and see like what's really healthy for us? What's giving us bad exposures? One way I'm seeing there's a lot of off-gassing off of mattresses from flame retardants. There's off-gassing on carpets, brand new carpets, vinyl floors, things like that. And the carpets that we purchased that aren't wool, they tend to be soaked in these like flame retardants. So if we have our babies on those carpets climbing around, that gets soaks into their skin too. I want you to think about if you have little kids to be really careful about what pajamas you're giving them. I mean, if they do the cotton pajamas that are really close to their body, that are a little bit tight, they don't have flame retardants in them. It's the nightgowns, it's the loose things that they have to soak in flame retardants. So we get a lot of that soaked in our body. So it's just a whole tricky thing, isn't it? I really want to understand, like you to understand like what could be triggering you. Good water sources. That's a good question. So I think that any tap water you can use, if you can just get some sort of water filter, right? Now, my favorite is reverse osmosis. I have an AquaTrue underneath my water, underneath my sink. It cost me $350 to purchase the whole setup. And then I spent $150 for the plumber to come and put it in. Thankfully, my son is now handy and he can put it in. I mean, he put one in my office as well because you can just reuse it for a long, long time. AquaTrue also has one on the countertop that you can use, which is super helpful. So someone actually started feeling better when you started using plastic water bottles. So it's weird. Berkey water filters are great too. Berkey's tricky in California because they don't allow them to sell their filter in California. But if you can get a Berkey, do it. Any kind of water filters, please do it. I'm seeing people having flare-ups and it's like, what's happening to this person and why are they having a flare-up? Is it their food triggers? Are they not sleeping? And I'm just racking my brain. And then they come in with a plastic water bottle. And I'm like, oh, okay, time out, stop. You can't be using that. That's triggering you. That one on the countertop is called AquaTrue, TRU. And AquaTrue is an interesting brand. They're not crazy expensive. So it's nice. It's one of the least expensive reverse osmosis water systems I've seen for under the sink, but on the countertop, great one. You could just have to, it's like you put in the water from your tap and then it goes through the filters and then it comes out like kind of in a pitcher. So then you can just use that pitcher and just pour it into anything. And then you can just reuse and reuse and reuse. So you have to get a filter for it like maybe every 6 months. And then, I mean, just think about how much money we're spending on plastic water bottles, right? I mean, plastic's pretty tricky. I mean, there's microplastics, right? They're saying that, our brain accumulates the amount of like a credit card of plastic. And I don't know what the time frame is, but it's like, okay, this is disturbing, right? And it's that, but it's also the BPAs, right? So it says, but really when you look at bisphenol, it's BPA, bisphenol A, you can get a plastic container that says BPA free. Well, the other BPs are also dangerous. So we kind of have to just dump the plastics, right? Especially if we want to get really clean. Okay. So we want to just get glass, get metal, stainless steel, Get something that's reusable, right? Yeah, Brita, that's a really good question. So, I mean, if you didn't have anything, Brita with tap water would be better than, I think, plastic water bottles, but I think we can do better than Brita, right? I was just looking at Costco. They have like one for about $350 as well. That's an under the sink one. I'm trying to do some research on some other ones, but I do feel like the AquaTrue is a pretty good one. I mean, the water tastes great. And here's the thing about the plastic water bottles is when you heat that up, the microplastics get into the water. And the problem is you don't know where that plastic bottle has been. It's been in a warehouse. It's been heated. It's been in a hot truck. It finally got into someone's cooler. They cooled it down, and we have some microplastics in there. It's really not great. Okay, so someone's saying they have a positive ANA and positive nucleolar. So what are your symptoms is a question, right? I do a lot with autoimmunity. I'm looking at autoimmune triggers, right? And I'm trying to get people to understand what the triggers are. How do we calm this down? And I've made a whole autoimmune shift course that's a self-paced course that you can take, that you can just understand all these different categories about what I see in my practice and what drives autoimmunity. Okay, so that's what I'm really trying to get everybody to understand, how to calm this down, because I want to empower you guys to know how to live a long, healthy life without having a lot of joint damage and problems with your body. So we've got, let's talk about the nucleolar. So nucleolar can be a little bit, there's a lot of different conditions that can come up from nucleolar, because remember, it says positive ANA and it says 1 in 320. So this can be a different number. You can go, but it doubles every time. It starts at 80, goes to 160, goes to 320, goes to 640, goes on and on. So that tells me kind of the intensity. 320 is rolling. Okay, you have something popping up here. And nucleolar, it could be systemic sclerosis, which is a lot of fibrous stuff that's going on in our joints and our tissues and our collagen throughout our body, lungs, hearts, things like that. It could be something that's called CREST syndrome. Now, CREST, someone's saying you have Raynaud's mostly. So CREST is CREST. It's calcinosis, you've got it kind of calcium deposits kind of in the joints, stiffness in the joints, Raynaud's, esophageal stuff where you kind of have some esophagus thickening and scarring. You've got some sort of tightness and stiffness in the skin and the joints. So it could be that. It could be what's called myositis, which is just, you got some migrating muscle pain and such. It could be something that's called undifferentiated connective tissue disorder, which is just hey, we're not totally sure, but we know your joints are involved and they're stiff and they're sore and you don't feel great. So this is kind of nucleolar. I'd love for you to see you get an ANA cascade done to see if there's any specific tissues actually involved. Maybe you have something called Sjogren's, which is dry mouth and dry eyes. So we want to know more, right? And we want to know, apparently you don't only have kind of Raynaud's, which is great. The goal is not to get all the symptoms and get diagnosed. You can stay in the gray zone and we can just calm this down. That's the goal, right? So you do have swelling in your fingers occasionally, get hives sometimes, but no skin tightening. Okay. Hives, it is part of autoimmunity is a big braid, right, of things that are in there. So you could have a little bit of hives. You can have, your skin can be really, if you scratch your skin, you get some redness. Sometimes that is you can actually have some there's leaky gut, there's sensitivity to the skin, there's a leaky blood-brain barrier. These tissues can be really sensitive, right? They're getting attacked by your immune system potentially. So your body's kind of reactive, it's under attack, right? So that sometimes happens with mast cell things or with hives. Sometimes I get people to have pretty good success with taking some quercetin. Quercetin is with a Q, Quercetin. Quercetin is a bioflavonoid, and it is an anti-inflammatory. So, and it can stabilize mast cells, which can calm down hives. So that's something that kind of is interesting, maybe helpful. I mean, I want to help you guys to figure out your symptoms, but really in my heart of hearts, I want you to understand all the things that could trigger your autoimmunity so you can back this car out of here and be I don't need this, right? I'm just going to try to calm it completely down. But oftentimes we don't know what the triggers are. So we got to figure it out. And everybody's a little different. Okay. So this person has a ANA 1 in 160, nuclear, homogeneous, low C4 and really high RNP, butterfly rash and more. Okay, so you've got a few things going on here, Morgan. Um, okay, so the low C4 is a little bit concerning because it tells me your immune system is getting a little bit depleted, like it's a little bit worn out, and you're really in it, right? Butterfly rash, um, and really high RNP. So all these things you could be marching toward lupus. It's tricky to get fully diagnosed because not everybody agrees on what needs to be in place to get fully diagnosed, but you're kind of marching in that direction. So my best thought for you would be to let's start figuring out what your triggers were. Let's figure out what triggered this. When did this start? Did it start? Did you get pregnant and it started? Was it menopause? Did you get exposure to some chemicals? Did you get COVID? Did you get the flu? Have you always had this? Does your family have this? There's a lot of things to dive into. I would certainly get you off of gluten and dairy and put you on 5,000 IUs of vitamin D every day. I'd probably put you on glutathione. Glutathione is a really strong antioxidant that can help protect our tissues. Glutathione is magical when it comes to detoxing chemicals and toxins out of our body. It is primo. Like if you took glutathione every day, you can really, we're going to have exposures to chemicals and toxins and poisons in our body. And what we can do is we have to try to get rid of them. Some of these are forever chemicals, but some of them we can get rid of with a good methylated B vitamin and glutathione. Okay. And vegetables to kind of bind up with the fiber to kind of bind it up. Okay. So I would love to, Morgan, I mean, I don't know what your story is, but I would love for you to take my self-paced course so you understand why it got triggered and all the steps to try to calm this down, and then get some support in a support group. Because all of that is, there's a support group, there's resources, and there's a self-paced course altogether. Take a look at my link in my bio at my link tree if you want some help, because I'd love to take a look at your blood work and help you figure this out. Okay, hold on, sorry. All my antibody tests came back negative, but I take a daily 1,000 microgram biotin, 10,000 microgram biotin. Do you think that could have interfered with testing? I mean, biotin can be tricky, can it? I mean, it's possible. You might want to get off your biotin for a couple of weeks and retest to make sure you kind of get a similar finding. Biotin can get a little tricky even with thyroid hormones. It changes it a little bit. So something to think about. Okay. Everybody needs to be on vitamin D. All of y'all need to be on vitamin D. 5,000 IUs. Even the people that don't have autoimmunity, get on vitamin D. Okay, let's see what else. Just got another positive ANA 1 in 40. 2 years, I had a positive ANA. Rheumatoid said it was not lupus. Okay. Yeah, it's tricky. With the ANA 1 in 40, it's like the lowest positive. And a lot of rheumatologists won't take it too seriously. But I want you to think about overlapping this with your symptoms. And I want you to take this as a warning shot. This could be in your future, right? You could develop some autoimmunity in your future. And but it's sort of teetering, right? So it's almost like, choose your own adventure, right? Like, what are we going to do to choose the way out of this versus the way into this, right? So thinking about food reactions, gluten, dairy, corn, soy, and eggs. I mean, I don't know what you react to. Getting on an autoimmune paleo diet wouldn't be a bad strategy. I do that in my autoimmune shift program. We all kind of jump onto the autoimmune paleo diet to see how we're doing, and we put new foods in, and we're really trying to figure this out. So that's something, if you want some support on helping with that, just pop into my link in my bio. We have a group starting on Friday, this next Friday. So let me know. Are there different kinds of lupus? Yes. And lupus is really like a wild little fingerprint for everybody. Some people get their kidneys involved. Some people, heart and lungs are involved. Oftentimes, there's a lot of exhaustion and some rashes. There's some joint pain. And it really depends, right? This is what's tricky about autoimmunity, is that not everybody's the same. Not everybody has the same trigger. Not everybody has the same thing that drives it, right? So this is why I was so driven to make some sort of a course, because you can't just listen to people on the internet going, take vitamin D and get off gluten and you're good. Like, it's so much more nuanced than that. I mean, If you're drinking out of plastic water bottles, you're triggering yourself. If you have Febreze plugins, if you've got candles that are not essential oils, all this stuff is like, it's like a burden, right? It's like a burden to our body. And it's stuff that our body's like, I don't know what this is. Think about caveman days. Would a caveman understand what it is that you just are smelling or putting in your mouth, or the food dyes or whatever? Probably not. So our immune system is really like archaic like that. It's like, I don't know what this Go-Gurt is with this green food dye, right? We want to consider these are foreign things. We're used to seeing them around. Our immune system is like, listen, I don't know what this is. It's a piece of trash, I guess. I'm going to attack you. So we have to be careful. We have to kind of slow this down. Okay. So somebody says they've been suffering for years. I have pages of symptoms, mostly neurological, while on your monthly. Okay. Yes. So you can have autoimmunity towards your brain and your nerves, anything neurological, anything in your body, you can have autoimmunity toward, really. And the name of the autoimmune condition is named on the target tissue. Hashimoto's, if it's your thyroid, rheumatoid arthritis in your joints. Lupus is a little bit more of the soft connective tissue throughout. So there's all these different conditions we can have. And it really doesn't totally matter what the target tissue is. All the principles are the same. What triggered your immune system? What's driving it on the day-to-day? What are we going to do to back this out and calm this down? Okay, that's the questions. So doctor says, blood work says I'm in remission and inflammation markers are normal, but I'm not okay. Right. So just because you don't have a full-blown diagnosed disease doesn't mean you feel okay, right? There's things happening and you don't feel good. So number one, I find that doctors don't run very much blood work. They run a comprehensive metabolic and a CBC. Maybe they run a TSH. Maybe they run an ANA. If you ask them, they might run a vitamin D if you beg them, and maybe an inflammatory marker. That's pretty much it. Like I don't see much else. It'd be nice to have you run a really big panel and take a look at things like your blood sugar. Let's just talk about blood sugar for a second. So if you're pre-diabetic or your blood sugar is spiking up and down, like you're hangry because your blood sugar gets too low, and then you're super exhausted after a meal because you eat too many carbs and your blood sugar's up and down, that's a big trigger for your autoimmunity to flare, right? It flares when you have too much fuel, not enough fuel. You're creating emergencies in your body by eating too much sugar. So there's so many things that can drive you to feel terrible. So that's a module in my autoimmune shift course, is blood sugar, and how do we figure out how to stabilize it? How do we figure out what is happening? And then how do we figure out if it's a virus? How do we figure out if it's toxins? And how do we clean up and how do we clear out toxins? And so this is why I love this course that I've built, and it's 13 different modules on different topics. And then there's supplement links as you go, and you get a discount on any kind of supplements you need. And I can help you make recommendations because I'm in an autoimmune support group on Fridays. So I'm just trying to give you guys a map. You need a map out of this because you are going to walk in circles. Listen, I know the map. I work with autoimmune people. I can tell you how to calm it down. Now, anybody who tells you that they can turn off autoimmune disease is not the truth. We can't just kind of flick it off. It's on, but we do have a regulator there. We have like a volume knob. We can turn it down and we can start figuring out like, why does this keep flaring, right? Sometimes it's medication along with supplements. Yeah, all of that is super helpful. We need to know about all that. So I keep getting told it's anxiety. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. It's so frustrating, isn't it? Because listen, yeah, you feel like trash. It could create anxiety. Of course, you probably feel inflamed. Your blood sugar might be up and down. You might not have enough vitamin D. Maybe you're not digesting your food. Maybe you have leaky gut. Listen, this is not an arena that traditional medical field knows much about. They just know the standard of care. Standard of care is, this is a whiny woman and we're going to put them on some antidepressants, right? Let me talk to somebody here on YouTube that says, is your AquaTree system on the counter or under the sink? I have one in my, under my sink. My daughter has one on top of her countertop because she's renting an apartment, and stainless steel water bottles are perfect. So yes, we need to do that. We need to have somebody on YouTube that's saying wild things, but okay. I can't manage all these comments. They're so ridiculous. It's a wild world out here on the internet. Okay, let me see. Where am I? Let's see. Oh, yeah, getting dismissed from doctors. Who's getting dismissed from doctors? All of us? All of us. How many of you are in menopause? And are you taking hormones? This is a big time of transition. When you get into menopause, you lose your estrogen and it creates a bunch of inflammation and it can really drive autoimmunity. So I find that a lot of my women in my office tend to take bioidentical hormone replacement if they can. It helps to calm their immune system down. How do you help stiffness, swollen joints, and overall pain with limited mobility? So the first thing we need to think about, Tracy, is we need to think about, why is it triggering like this? Why is this here? What exactly is happening? Is it happening because you have inflammation in your blood work? Are you taking any kind of fish oils? Are you on vitamin D? What foods are you eating? Sometimes if I have patients that get exposed to gluten and dairy, sometimes corn, soy, and eggs, those are the top 5, it can cause swelling in the joints. So we don't want to kind of like just do kind of a green medicine Band-Aid on this for like, oh, take turmeric or whatever. We want to figure out like, but why? Why is this happening, right? How do we help this? We got to figure out what the trigger is. And this is why I'm giving you guys a self-paced program in my autoimmune shift program so that you can go through this, run it as many times as you want and learn all the 13 different modules. And then you hop on an autoimmune support group and I can answer all your questions, no problem. And you can have resources to get any supplements that we feel like might make sense. It's not really, supplements are helpful, but it's not really a supplement game so much. It's like, what's the food you're eating? How many chemicals are you exposed to? Are you moving your body? Are you sleeping? Do you have a supportive partner? All these things, right? There's so many things involved. That's why it's complicated to work with. That's why a lot of people don't work with autoimmunity, because it's complicated. Do any other Hashimoto's in here eat butter? Okay. Butter's interesting. So it has a little bit of casein in it, but I'd say 90% of my patients that can't do dairy can do butter, and 10% cannot. So I think it's just kind of a try it, see how your body feels. And this is where I really want you guys to get good about, I ate this, it made me feel like X. I was in this environment where there was a bunch of candles burning and it made me feel like trash, or, like just learning about your body and what triggers you, right? This is like, I'm trying to just create a map for you guys to go through and choose your own adventure and go, oh my God, it's chemicals for me, or it's gluten and dairy for me, or it's the fact that I can't sleep because I'm in menopause. It's totally flared me up and I don't have any estrogen, right? I also have Raynaud's episodes. Yes, Raynaud's. Yes, it's so annoying. And your fingers get really white on the tips and they get kind of cold. It's triggered by cold. Probably not the best month right now, being January, right? Unless you live in California or Hawaii. Why do my lupus tests come up positive and then negative 3 months later? Okay, so great question. So Ellie, the immune system is really, really changeable. So you probably are dealing with like you're walking on a wall, and you on the top of a wall, and you could fall to the left, you could fall to the right, right? You could be pushed left or right depending on what are you eating, what are your food triggers, do you have leaky gut, do you have overgrowth of bad bacteria? If you get COVID, it could trigger you back into lupus. If you get the flu, same. If you get a rhinovirus, anything that flares up your immune system is going to like tip you, right? Get a big chemical exposure, it's going to tip you. So you're kind of in the middle, just kind of like really trying to like, you're teetering. So the immune system can change. That's why I love working with autoimmunity, because I can change your immune system too for the better. Like I want to give you all the traps and all the pitfalls and go, don't fall here, don't fall here, don't fall here, move this way, and at least help you walk through this jungle a little safer without, getting tripped up. You just need to know so much information so that, because you could go to a hotel where they have Febreze and candles burning and you might have a flare up if you're chemically sensitive, right? Which most of us are. Where am I? I am in Los Gatos, California, but I do see people remote. I also have, I do people, I didn't do talk with people on Zoom and I help them figure out their symptoms. I look at their labs, but I also have an autoimmune shift group program where you go through this 13 different modules of why you get flared up. And then I have an autoimmune support group. There's about a dozen in the Friday group right now. So they're super fun. And we all compare what's going on, what's working, what's not working. Everyone's bringing their questions. We figure out food. We figure out supplements. You have supplement links. There's some structure to how to get through this, right? If you want to kind of pop on there, it's on my link tree in my bio. So check it out if you want. Honey is sugar. I do eat some honey. Oops, sorry, I lost you. Hang on a second here. Sorry, I just was talking about honey and where. Oh, here we go. Sorry, I lost. At least comments are like rolling through. Is all natural honey in small doses okay? Sure. So here's the thing. We're not going to demonize honey or sugar, but here's what we need to know is, let's say you're wearing a blood sugar monitor on the back of your arm, which I implore all of you to do. It's part of my 13 module program. Please get a blood sugar monitor. It tells you what's happening with your blood sugar. Is it spiking? Is it crashing? Is it spiking? Is it crashing? If you're on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride all day, it's going to drive your autoimmunity even further. Okay. It's going to drive it. So we want to get you like rolling in the middle. Okay. You want to be in the middle, kind of rolling along. So if you're going to have honey, and if you're going to have honey in some tea and you're not eating anything else and you're sensitive to sugar, it's going to spike your blood sugar. Now, if you do a little bit, it's not going to be a big deal, right? I tell people, like, if you are going to have a meal, say you're going to have dinner and you have veggies and you have a meat and then you have a little bit of carbs. And if you want a little bit of chocolate or a little dessert, put it right at the end of your meal, because it's all sitting on top of, say, a whole salad bowl. Like, your stomach's like a salad bowl. Fill it with veggies, fill it with meats and fats and nuts and seeds and all the things, a little bit of carbs sprinkled on top. And then slowly that sugar will absorb and it will absorb into your system. Just don't do too much, right? It's all in moderation. We're not going to demonize sugar at all. We're not going to do it. It's not the poison that people are letting it out to be. But, you know, a lot of us have prediabetes and we have to get it under control, because that will drive your autoimmunity and it'll drive inflammation, heart disease, blah, blah, blah. Keto is the only way I feel better. Okay. Keto is magic. And I tell you, your brain learns how to use fat as fuel, and ketones, magical for head injuries, brain inflammation, brain fog, anything like that. So I have, every single person's different. I have patients that have to be off of gluten and dairy. I have people that do really well on keto. I have people that can't do nightshades or gluten or dairy or tapioca starch. I mean, everybody has their own thing. If keto works for you, stay on keto. And it's an amazing diet for your brain. Really, it's preventing Alzheimer's. It's awesome. Early menopause at 38, I was given birth control. Can you get on bioidentical hormones? It's kind of the standard of care for perimenopause is an estrogen patch or a gel and an oral progesterone, not a progestin. The birth control pill is all more synthetic hormones, and it's a little bit more risky as we get older because oral estrogen can cause you to clot. And eventually it'd be nice to kind of taper you off onto an actual perimenopause, menopause hormone regimen. That might be helpful. I have a couple women that can only do oral estrogen, and it's tricky. We just have to make sure that they don't get a blood clot. This is the thing. It's not one solution for anybody. We're just trying to figure each of you out, right? You're a woman in your 20s. I'm on HRT for hypothalamic amenorrhea. I wonder if that was my trigger. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I wonder if it was too. And you're bottomed out on your hormones. Estrogen is anti-inflammatory. So when you get estrogen back on board, you can feel better. Now, also, oftentimes, 80% of people with autoimmunity are women. So it's a heavily woman situation, right? So a lot of my patients that get on estrogen feel better. Yeah. And if they get on progesterone, they're actually sleeping and then they feel better. Because if I can't get someone to sleep, I will never get their autoimmunity to calm down. It's like, forget it. I have to get them sleeping, right? It's tricky. We just have to start there. That's it. Okay, so someone here is 1 in 1280 nucleolar. Negative, SCL70, RNA, centromere. Okay, so all those strong positive, anti-U3ENP. I'm going to look at that because I can't remember which one that one is. There's so many. There's so many of these markers. I mean, I tell you, the more I do this, the more I memorize. But I'm just going to have chat help me out with that one because I don't want to give you the wrong information. Oh, antifibrillin antibodies. Okay, so that is a protein in the nucleolus. It's in the cell. All these silly names. It's silly. Okay, so you want to think about systemic sclerosis, which means that things get sort of like a fibrousness to them, like the soft tissue, especially in your internal organs. I want you to think about high blood pressure, hypertension. I want you to think about the lungs can get a little bit fibrous. You can get the heart can get involved. The gut can get sort of some dysmotility. I really want to help you. I don't like that number. I don't like it. I would love for you to know what you're doing on this one. I want to give you, I feel like I want to grant you guys all this like information so that you know what you're doing, because some of you are making me a little bit worried. I just feel like I don't know what your symptoms are. And I don't know how 1 in 1280 is getting a little strong. But are you feeling like you are not feeling good, like heart and lungs and things like that? Because I want you to, are you on a medication? Sometimes medications can help calm this down too. And then we can braid in some functional medicine. Now, NPV can be, you could have, do you have chronic bleeding? Do you have heavy cycles? Usually that tells me there's this little bit of bleeding happening or heavy cycles. This is like a sort of red cell turnover number. So tell me about that. I have reactions to vitamin D. What are your reactions? Because I see this a little bit. I also see that sometimes if women tend to have congested gallbladders, we just do. Liver, gallbladder, you know, we process a lot of things through our liver and our gallbladder. So can you also not digest fat? Because fats, these are fat soluble vitamins, A, D, E, and K. D is one of them. And if you can't, can you not absorb it? What happens to you? I would be very interested in hearing about that because it's kind of rare, but I'm hearing a few people having problems with vitamin D. Systemic mastocytosis, constantly fighting with my body. Oh my goodness. Yeah. You know, you've got lots going on. Are you not yeah, you are not feeling well. What about food for you, Hannah? Are you triggered by gluten and dairy, corn, soy, eggs? Those are the top 5, but also nightshades can be really triggery. Also nuts and seeds can be triggery. Listen, sometimes like this is what I'll do in the autoimmune shift program that I run is all of us will do like AIP for like a week, autoimmune paleo. Just sell like meats and veggies, super boring for a little bit. And then we move out of that and go, let's add some nuts and seeds today. And then I have like a thread with all of them. And let's add some tomatoes today. Let's add some peppers today. And we all sort of try to figure out like what's flaring up our body. So that's a game you can play. That's free, that you don't have to pay a bunch of money for like some sort of food intolerance test. So you might want to take a look at that. What else? Are you more likely to get sick more often when you have an autoimmune disease specific? Yes, absolutely. So your immune system is very, very busy. You only have so many soldiers, right? And if half of your soldiers are attacking you, then the other half are like, listen, we got some low troops here. Here comes the flu. We're down, right? So we need to think about, here's my strategy for you is, of course, we need to get you on vitamin D, 5,000 IU. If you're sick, I want you to bring it to 10,000 IU, okay? And then I want you to do other things. Glutathione's very, very helpful. Helps to calm your immune system down. Because let's say you have half your soldiers are going, oh my God, I'm gonna attack me. And if you calm your immune system down with like glutathione, maybe some black seed oil, and we get your vitamin D on board, get some food triggers out, then all of a sudden you have more soldiers available to fight the flu. Okay. Your soldiers are super, super busy fighting yourself. Okay. So we need to kind of redirect them. You only have so many little soldiers. So we've got to kind of calm everybody down and increase what's called your Treg cells or your regulatory T cells to get you to kind of we do want to attack things, but we don't want to attack us, and we want to kind of be able to put the brake on. Okay. So listen, I mean, I hate being sort of salesy. I don't like that. I just want you, if you want to take my program, it's not expensive and it's self-paced, and you can learn 13 different modules of so much stuff. I've made all these videos about so much information, and there's lots of resources. Like, what labs did you get? What do your labs mean? How do I get off of gluten? What are the things that you need to do to really walk through this? Like, what's the map? It's like a literal map. And then you can come into our support group if you want to. It's really, really fun. It's a great, great place to be. I'm on these lives more, and I'm seeing like so many of you. I want to pull you into my group so that you guys can get supported, because I love, love, love supporting you guys. I love getting you guys feeling better. You are trying, hold on a second. I lost my place. Sorry. Okay, here I am. Hannah, my triggers are never consistent for the most part, very unpredictable. Yeah, so I actually wonder if you might have leaky gut then. Do you have gut issues? Do you get bloating? Do you get heartburn? Do you feel not great? Sometimes you can have leaky gut, and it's like the barrier is it's sealed and it's kind of open a little bit, and then foods just kind of come into the bloodstream kind of willy-nilly, and then you can just be reacting to a bunch of random things. Maybe it might be something we can do. Yeah, ghee, right? Yeah, that's a great, Frankie. If you have issues with it, ghee is super helpful because it's casein free, right? And that's the protein. When we're dealing with dairy, like a lot of people with autoimmunity can't do gluten or dairy, and it's not lactose. It doesn't have anything to do with lactose. It has to do with the casein protein. So that's what we're reacting to. So ghee is casein free. So thank you for saying that. That's great, Frankie. That's exactly right. Let's see. Kendra wants to know do you think prednisone can cause a false negative when getting complement blood work? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. It's tricky, right? Because prednisone also kind of like calms everything down sort of artificially. So your inflammation markers can get lower, and yeah, your immune system can kind of get suppressed, and your immune system can get a little bit weird in prednisone. So if you can, do you take it every day? Because some of my lupus patients have to take a little bit every day. That's okay. We just can we do a little bit of a break and take some blood work? It would be helpful. I have mono, trying not to catch a cold or any virus. Okay. Mono is a big kingpin here. Okay. Did we all have mono? We probably all have had mono. And I mean, 95% of the planet has had mono. It's a virus. They call it the sleeping sickness. You have swollen lymph nodes. You're super exhausted. You have a fever. You feel like trash. Now, that's something that we tend to get in high school, right? Or in college when we're living amongst people or being, like sharing drinks and things like that with people. And it's a virus that stays in our body. And when you go down and you're it's like when you're not looking, that mono can come and reactivate. And so there's a really interesting study out of Stanford that is actually correlating Epstein-Barr with the trigger of lupus. So we need to take these viruses really seriously. They are big, serious monsters. They really, really are. And viruses live in our body. So it's kind of like, when you got the chicken pox when you're a kid, and then when you get really stressed out when you're 70, and then you get a big patch of shingles. That's just what that is. It's the same virus. It just it lived in the nerve root for a long time. You ran yourself down, and here it comes out. It expresses itself. So yeah, that's something that, mono is a big, big deal. We want to calm your immune system down. I'm going to just tell you a couple things you can do. I mean, I don't know you, so I'm not sure. I'd be happy to help you, but vitamin D is helpful. 5,000 I use. If you feel like you're getting sick, making sure your vitamin D is up at 70, 80, 90, up in the upper range. Normal is 30 to 100. We want to be up at the higher range. But also you could get on something called Lauracine. It's a great supplement that if you need a link, just send me a DM with your name and your email and say, this is what I want. I can send you a link to any supplement you want under full script. So Lauracine has lysine and monolaurin. Super, super helpful in kind of getting that Epstein-Barr, that mono back into remission. It's a big deal. People with chronic fatigue often have a reactivated form of Epstein-Barr coming up. Okay. This is really tricky stuff. I'm postmenopausal. with PBC, so primary biliary cholangitis, anywhere I can find good information. Okay, come on over, Anne-Marie. Yeah, I've got a whole program for you. Self-paced, it's not expensive. It's $179 to do the whole 13 module course. It's everything. This is what's so tricky. Your immune system is attacking like the bile duct out of your liver and into your gallbladder. It's like right there. And so alcohol can trigger you. Gluten and dairy can trigger you. Other food triggers can trigger you. You need to be on a low chemical exposure kind of situation. I need you sleeping. I need you to be on glutathione. I mean, the list is long. There's a lot of things I want to tell you to do, and you need some resources and you need some links. Anybody who's hopping into my program, you get a 25% discount on any supplement that you want under full script, just every darn supplement under the sun. So don't buy your supplements off of Amazon. Get a legitimate. Sprouts is really good. Whole Foods is just, their choices have really gone down. They're okay. We're a little limited, aren't we? Those mom and pop supplement stores are pretty good. Naturopaths are great. Sometimes chiropractic offices can be great. If you need a link, just send me a message with your email and I'll send you a link. But yeah, we don't want you to get a full-blown primary biliary cholangitis. Say that 3 times fast. So that's not nice. It's only a gallbladder bile duct problem because your immune system is attacking it. So we have to back up 10 steps and say, why? Why did this happen? What triggered this? And what are we going to do to calm it down? What started it? If you know what started it, I can really fast track you on figuring out how to calm it down, right? So, and then this is not something that we just go, oh, shut it off, it goes away. We turn down the attack. We turn it down. Like if you have Hashimoto's and your markers are 1500 thyroid peroxidase, and we work through, within a year, your numbers can be down to 150, right? It's still happening, but it's not on fire, right? That's the goal, is to kind of like get you guys to not be on fire. Constant raised polyclonal antibodies, different types of antibodies, have all neuromuscular symptoms. So yeah, so you have sort of that, probably they would call it polymyositis or polymyalgia or something like that. Or a long time ago, they used to just call this fibromyalgia. How many people were diagnosed with fibromyalgia? A lot of people. Anytime you have autoimmunity, there's almost always some joint involvement. It can attack your thyroid with Hashimoto's, and then your joints are swollen. So this is all calming down your immune system, figuring out what the food triggers are, right? Gluten, dairy, get on vitamin D, get on glutathione. Let's look at what's the chemical exposure in your house. Do you have a water filter? Can you get off of plastics? Can we lower your exposure to chemicals? Can you eat organic food? If you can get some organic things, you're going to really lower your exposure. You got to think about your body. Like, how much am I going to stress my body out, right? Am I going to just eat pizza and soda and blah, blah, blah? I know most of you are not doing that, but like, it's a stressor, right? It's like hard on our body. Like, let's really be kind to our body and give it what it needs, right? Get back to like those kind of cave girl eating ways, right? Eat the meat, eat the veggies, eat the nuts and seeds and the eggs, if you can tolerate those things, right? Let's get off of the processed food, because there's so much processed food. Oh my goodness. Someone's trying intermittent fasting. Great. So yes, if that works for you, like, you know what I would do? Can you get yourself like a blood sugar monitor, like a Lingo or a Stello? You can just order them online. Lingo, Lingo, Stello, Stelo. They're like $50 a piece, and it lasts for 2 weeks. It's attached to the back of your arm. It's attached to your phone. You can see what your blood sugar is doing all through the day. So if you're cruising along, doing well, and your blood sugar is at 85, you can intermittent fast. Great, do it. And then if you get to noon and you're like, ooh, I'm starting to drop, start to eat an eating window, maybe about maybe 11 to 7, or a lot of my patients do like 11 to 7 eating window. And then, they can kind of get their insulin down and their blood sugar down. My good friend, Mindy Pels. Do you guys, any of you follow my friend, Mindy Pels? Fast Like a Girl, Eat Like a Girl. She's a good friend of mine. And we're working a lot on like, who should intermittent fast, who shouldn't? How do we intermittent fast and also get our protein levels? Great stuff. So much stuff to consider. So I like the intermittent fasting. It's good. You can, but the doctor won't do it yet. She wants birth control first. I get that. I get that. But also, this is your body too. And you can change your doctor and get another opinion. You could. You know what you can also do? Oh gosh, am I going to remember that website? What is that website that you can talk to and get hormone replacement online? Oh man, what's going on with my brain? Replacement online. It's a catchy little name. And what is it? I think that I love chat. It's MIDI. That's what it is. MIDI, MIDI. They will take insurance, and you can talk to a nurse practitioner, and you could get something different. There's more. There's the HRT Club. There's Evernow. There's Defy Medical. Wow. There's a lot. Even Planned Parenthood. Thank goodness for Planned Parenthood, right? So they'll do it too. So just because your doctor wants you to do that doesn't mean that you have to do it. This is the time of let's find out for yourself, right? I'd rather you be on hormone replacement that's a little healthier, that's not synthetic. But you know what? You're also not my patient. But if you're my patient, I would be a little bullish about that, okay? What about bioidentical hormones for postmenopause? Big fan. I'm on them, love them. They're the best. Now, I say that, and I haven't had a estrogen or progesterone sensitive breast cancer, and I can take them. So I do estrogen patch, oral progesterone. Okay. Love it. Even a little bit of testosterone. Okay. Testosterone cream. Yes. We do not want to push our hormones back to what we were when we were 30. That's not the goal. But we don't want us to have no hormones, right? Here's the side effects. Well, first of all, when you have autoimmunity, estrogen is an anti-inflammatory. So estrogen and progesterone can calm down your immune system, okay? Also, estrogen, we don't tend to get heart disease as a woman as long as we have estrogen. Once that our estrogen leaves the building, we tend to get heart disease. It's our number one killer of women in over 65. So, I mean, why are we going to do that? So also, estrogen and progesterone are very helpful in keeping your bones dense and preventing getting dementia. So yes, I am 100% on board for bioidentical hormones if you can have that, if you can do that safely. You found out you have lichen sclerosis maybe? Yeah, lichen sclerosis. Here's one thing I want you to do. It's kind of this wacky thing that you can get in your mouth, you can get on your skin. I would get some liquid turmeric. If you give me your email and your name in my DMs, I'll send you a link on FullScript. There's a liquid turmeric through Apex Energetics that I love. Just doing a good liquid turmeric, soak it in your mouth every day, can help you get rid of lichen sclerosis. And even if you have it elsewhere, it's kind of a wild thing. I have a history of one blood clot, CHF, fibromyalgia, and postmenopause. Okay, so one thing you don't want to do with blood clot history, you don't want to do oral estrogen. You wouldn't want to do oral estrogen like Premarin. You wouldn't want to do the birth control pill. That would be not safe. If you are more than 10 years out into menopause, they often won't give you hormones. But if you are in that little zone and you wanted to try it to see if it made you feel better, it would be a reasonable strategy. I think HRT would help you with pain. I think it will too. I really do. The tissues get really dry. Even in our joints and in our body, our tissue gets really dry when we don't have estrogen. And it feels like the joints almost feel like they're on sandpaper. They don't feel great. So HRT can really be helpful. I love all these questions. You guys are crushing it with questions. I love it. I just have so many things. I'm always like, what are we going to talk about? You guys tell me what I want to talk about. Okay, let me make sure I am not missing people. Oh, can you spell the supplements that you just said to help with mono? Yes. Laura, your brain already forgot. I love that. I hate that, dude. Your brain fog. Damn. Lauracine, LAURISINE. I can't remember the name of the brand, but if you look it up online, you can get it. If it seems expensive or it's hard to get, just send me, put in my DMs your name and your email and say, I want Lauracine, and I'll send you a link. Because here's what's tricky about Amazon. is that like I got patients that'll pop in and go, hey, I ran out of the supplement you gave me and I ordered it on Amazon and it was 5 times the cost. I'm like, don't do that. And it's probably somebody who got the supplement and like just reselling it. So we don't even know if it's helpful or even what it is, right? Okay, sorry, I have to back up here because I have, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry I missed some of these questions. Okay, so are eggs inflammatory? Nope, but if you're intolerant to eggs and if it's food protein that causes your immune system to overact, then they can be. So if you react to eggs and they make your joints not feel good or they make you feel bad, then you might have an egg intolerance. So if you can tolerate them, eat them. They're not inflammatory. No. Yeah, people can have them. They're not necessarily inflammatory, but they're, I mean, it's a top 5 reactive food that I want you to look at. If you could tolerate it, do it. The only 2 foods that are off the table for autoimmunity, really, and this is like RIP, sad, gluten and dairy. They trigger us. They just do. So gluten and casein, the 2 proteins, they look so similar to the tissues of our body. It's weird. So if your immune system is attacking you, then gluten and dairy are going to be like fuel to the fire and are going to flare you up. It's wild. I hate it for you because I haven't been on gluten and dairy for like 10 years. Anyway, it's sad. RIP. Okay, migratory joint pain since 2009, presumed EDS, ANA 1280 since 2018. Okay, so EDS, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, that's a hypermobility, people that are super, super flexible. The tissue can be really, really flexible, and you can tend to get more hives, and you tend to get more autoimmunity. So yeah, this is all kind of braided in together. So we want to think about what's triggering you and your migratory joint pain. Do we have you on enough vitamin D? Are you absorbing your nutrients well enough? Are you eating a food that's triggering you? Oftentimes, if we can figure out the food trigger, that's a big player in EDS, because oftentimes people with EDS also tend to have leaky gut. Because if you think about it, the tissue in the gut is kind of supposed to be sealed. But if your tissue is kind of looser and wider woven, sometimes you can get mast cells in your gut, little hives. You can get like permeability in your gut a lot easier. So you have to be really, really figure out what your food triggers are. If you can't figure them out, you can do a test through a company called Cyrex, Cyrex. Cyrex, I can send you a link. That's a great test. We look for leaky gut. We look for gluten, dairy, corn, soy, eggs, all the things. Yeah, all the good basics. So let me know if I can help. Is glutathione a good long-term supplement? Yes. So glutathione, if you can tolerate it, okay. Now it's made with sulfur. So there's a few people that have sulfur sensitivities that can't do this. So what you want to think about is you want to think about getting a glutathione that's liquid, possibly. Let me tell you my faves. Glutathione, Apex Energetics, my number 1 favorite. Trisomal glutathione. Symbiotica, CYM, Symbiotica. They're in a lot of the like trendier health food stores. That's a really good one. Also, Quicksilver, glutathione is great. Those are all liquid, really absorbable. Glutathione is a little hard to absorb. If you can only find a capsule, which sometimes you can only find a capsule, then you want to get something called AC-glutathione. That's a different form. It's easier to absorb. Glutathione is an immune system modulator, calms it down. So is vitamin D. Okay, so those 2 are great. It also helps with the detox pathways. So you want to be able to like help to clean out toxins and help clear out chemicals and things like that. Super helpful. So yeah, you can do it every single day. Also do more when you are feeling sick. Super helpful. Because here's the thing, when you're feeling sick and your immune system is like, I'm going crazy, I'm going to attack all these viruses, it starts to attack you too. It does both, right? So we want to have something that like helps the immune system, gives it ammunition, gives it support, and modulates your immune system, but doesn't drive it up. So I would be careful about just jumping on like echinacea, golden seal, things to like drive your immune system, because you don't want your immune system to get more active. Like it's just depleted. So we want to fortify it and give it some support. Does that make sense? Okay. And then there's no skin manifestations of scleroderma. Good. So here's where you want to, if you have markers that are going to go towards scleroderma, especially systemic scleroderma, I want you in my program. I want to support you. I want you to take my course, my 13 modules, my course that you can learn everything about what can trigger you, because that's a miserable disease that you don't want. And we're turn this right around. Like, we're turn this bus around. I don't like that direction at all. So, I mean, some of you I get really worried about, and I just don't want you to kind of go out and go, I'm sure I'll be fine. And I'm saying, I'm sure you might not. So, especially in this world, there's a lot of chemicals and toxins, and I mean, the stress of these days, and my goodness, and people aren't sleeping, and people are eating really processed food, and blah. Anyway, that's the things to consider, right? Go pull all the Febrezes out and all the Glade plugins and throw them in the trash, okay? What's a good non-synthetic vitamin D? Well, we're going to get a vitamin D3, okay? And I have a few brands that I love. I mean, I can always send you a link if you want one. D3 is often, it's not many of them are truly synthetic. You just want to have to kind of take a look at what you can find. I like Designs for Health. I like Thorne. I like Metagenics. I like Zymogen. I mean, there's a lot of supplement companies that are truly reputable and are doing an excellent job. So I worry a little bit about pure encapsulations because they got bought by Nestle. That worries me. I worry about the quality of that. Why are there so many bad vitamins out there? Well, so the supplement space, there's a lot of money in the supplement space. So if you can put a good advertisement together and throw in some garbage supplements, it's a great way to make a bunch of money. Capitalism, right? So I like ordering my supplements through Fullscript because it's all reputable brands that I know are lab certified, they're clean. If they have fish oils, they've been tested that they don't have mercury in them. You know, we are worried about supplements that are coming from China and from India because they're coming in with a lot of heavy metals. So I want you to be careful about just getting a supplement like Walgreens, unless you know the brand, right? I tell you, Walgreens is kind of getting a little savvier. They're carrying a couple good brands, but you got to be careful. Do I work with people who have autoimmune hepatitis? Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. It's autoimmunity toward your liver. And we got to calm that down, right? There's really great ways to support the liver, but also we want to get your immune system to like chill out, like knock it off. Some people with autoimmune hepatitis, it's like a whole family thing. A lot of people in the family will have it. I don't know if it's just you or if you have other family members that have that. Yes, I work with people in my office in Los Gatos in California, but I do Monday, Wednesday, Thursday in my office, and Tuesdays and Fridays I do Zoom. So if you need some help, if you want me to read your labs, if you want me to help you like figure out what are your next steps on labs, happy to do that. Super happy to do that. The links are in my bio. There's a link tree. It says work with me, and then it also says sign up for the shift if you want to hop into the shift program. I tested borderline positive with my double-stranded DNA. My complements were normal. Okay. dsDNA, double-stranded DNA, can be significant. It can move toward lupus. So I want you to Kendra, I want you to get really serious about this. I want you to get really focused about this, and I want you to go, this is a priority. If you're on the border and you're kind of like wavering back and forth with dsDNA, then your immune system is saying, I'm about to do something really nasty to you. And you have a window of time here to really like turn this and calm this down. Now, it doesn't mean that your ANA is going to go negative. And it doesn't mean that you aren't going to eventually develop this. But here's the thing. We have a window of time to go, what are our known triggers? What do we know in science that triggers? Gluten, dairy, could be other food triggers, chemicals. You need to really be careful about your sleep. You've got to be on vitamin D. We've got to get you on glutathione. I'm finding some really good help too with black cumin seed oil if you're inflamed. Kendra, I would want to make sure that you don't have leaky gut. I just want to make sure that you don't develop this. You kind of have a little bit of like, those old books where you could like choose your own adventure, and that's where we are right now. Just know where you are and know that I just would love for you to not have that happen. Okay. So let me know if I can help. This is why I've made my program like so cheap, because I want everyone to pile in, and I want just to make a big group, and we're just going to have a great time in there, and we can support you. And figure this out. You can have some camaraderie with some other people who have autoimmunity too, and we can know what helped them. We learn from each other. It's actually amazing. So I want you to be careful. How to relieve emotional stress. Okay, Paris, emotional stress. I want you to take a walk. I want you to meditate, all those things. I also want you to think about what is driving your emotional stress. Do you feel like you're stressing for no reason, or do you feel like there's a legitimate reason? Because if you are a person that like you stress and your cortisol goes to the roof because you've had trauma and you have like a high ACE score, or you've had trauma in the past, you could try a really interesting supplement called Cortisol Manager. It's one of my favorites. It's from Integrative Therapeutics, and it degrades cortisol. So let's say you are just a spiky cortisol gal and you're like, God, I'm always freaking out. What the heck? And I can't fall asleep and I can't calm down and I can't get myself to like chill. That's an amazing supplement. Cortisol Manager, Integrative Therapeutics. Don't get it on Amazon. It's too expensive. I can send you a link if you want link. But also I need you exercising and walking. Walk that stuff out. You can walk the cortisol out, okay? Kendra had a high dose of prednisone for weeks before testing. I bet your tests aren't quite right. I would do that again at some point and just, try to see if you can get off some prednisone for 2-3 weeks beforehand. See if we can get a normal result. You've had shingles 3 times already too. Oh no, I don't love this. This is terrible. So shingles is a herpes virus. It's part of the chickenpox virus. It's all the sort of same thing. It's the herpes viruses. There's a bunch of different ones. They break out in your lips and shingles and chickenpox. It's a whole mess. So we need to think about why your body's so depleted. Are you run down? Are you not sleeping? Do you have sleep apnea? Are you exposed to a bunch of chemicals? Do you have a really crappy boyfriend? I mean, like these things are a big deal, right? We want to figure out what you're eating. What kind of supplements are you supporting you with you? Like we need to get you on vitamin A and vitamin D. They're both really helpful for shingles. I also want you to be on lauracine, the other one I was talking about, which is for mono too, helps with the shingles virus. So you could be on andrographis, Andro, Graphis, with Graphis. That's a really strong antiviral. You could be on kudzu root, Kudzu. I can send you a link. Let me know if I can help. Ooh, you guys, I'm so glad that I hopped on. There's so many questions. You switched to lactose-free milk, but I don't have acid and I don't have acid reflux heartburn symptoms. So here's what I would be curious about, Lily. If you have autoimmunity and you're still doing lactose-free milk, I would love for you to do zero dairy, like no cheese, no yogurt, no milk at all for like 2 weeks. And then I want you to do one day, I want you to do a ton of dairy and see how it makes you feel. And I'm not thinking about reflux and stuff. I'm also really just thinking about how do your joints feel? Are you tired? Did you get a rash? Are you okay? Right? These food removal and challenges, really great, really valuable. Okay. That's a gold standard test really for figuring out food intolerances. And you didn't even spend any money. So think about that. Do I know about SIBO? Yes. SIBO sucks. Okay. Small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. And there's overgrowth of bad bacteria. Sometimes it starts with low stomach acid. Let's say your stomach acid was a little low. You take a lot of like Prilosec or acid reducers or something like that. H. pylori can live in low acid. If you have H. pylori in your stomach, it can lower your acid. If you have low acid and say you eat food and there's some bacteria in there, it'll get through your stomach and straight into your small intestine. And then it overgrows there. And then it causes bloating and pain and motility issues. So you probably have some overgrowth of some bad bacteria. You can do a GI map test. It's a stool test. Tells us who's in there. How did you digest your food? Good guys, bad guys, H. pylori, all the things. Gives us a map on where to start. We could do some killing. You can kill with herbs. Their Candibactin, AR, and BR from Metagenics are great. There's a couple of different really good killers that are herbal that you can do. You can do rifloximine or Xifaxan, which is helpful. You can get, if you're super, super constipated, this is what they call IBS, guys. IBS. IBSD if you have diarrhea, IBSC if you have constipation. It's a bunch of BS, really. It's like, oh, okay, who cares? So yeah, right, I could have told you that. You're describing my symptoms. What are you going to do about it? SIBO is a big deal. SIBO can cause IBS, okay? So you need to kill some things. It might cause leaky gut. You can get bad bacteria, open up your gut and create leaky gut. It can drive autoimmunity. It's a big, 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 big deal. So yes, we need to kill off that stuff. And yeah, SIBO, you're so sick. Have you killed anything yet? Have you done a round of Xifaxan or any kind of herbs or anything like that? How's your motility? Are you constipated? Do you have diarrhea? Man, GI map shows these wild things coming back. People have crazy stuff in their gut. I wonder if Bath and Body Works is bad for us. Yes, it is. I need a Bath and Body Works that uses essential oils. All that place is just there's such perfumey stuff and it's so bad. So yeah, we really need to get rid of the fragrances and the perfumes. Use essential oils, right? They're great and they're super helpful. I know they're probably a little bit more expensive, but you're not poisoning yourself either. When just those chemical fragrances, they're thinking that a lot of lung cancers are being driven and by these fragrances, and also just asthma and problems with lungs. Okay. Okay. I think I got this one. I spelled the supplement for EBV, for mono. Okay. Somebody has Hashimoto's and a gallbladder out for chronic nausea and is non-functioning nausea there a year later. Okay. So you had your gallbladder out. You also have Hashimoto's. Okay. Low thyroid causes slow motility in your intestines. So low thyroid can cause you to be really constipated. And also it causes your gallbladder to not squirt really well to release bile to digest fats. So you don't have a gallbladder. We need you to have some lipase enzymes to digest fats with bile salts to help emulsify fats. You need to get some. There is a supplement called Digestion GB. It's by Pure Encapsulations. And those are great to take a couple of them with a meal to help you digest your fats. That'd be really helpful. And Hashimoto's, we need you to figure out what your food triggers are. I need you to be on selenium every day to calm down your thyroid peroxidase. Anybody who have Hashimoto's in here that also has anxiety? So when you get your thyroid attacked and you release this thing called TPO, thyroid peroxidase, it can attach to the back of your brain in your cerebellum and make you really anxious. It can make you have vertigo. It can make you feel really, really dizzy, and it's not fun. So I have a lot of things to talk to you about on that one, on calming your Hashimoto's down. And is mast cell an issue? Mast cell is a big issue for people. Anybody have hives? People are really having a lot of hives. And I tell you that when COVID has flared up hives like crazy. I don't even know what the heck is going on, but it's like we have autoimmunity in leaps and bounds after COVID. Now, COVID sickness and the COVID vaccine, both of them were triggery. It was pretty triggery. So yeah, if you are on how do you even say that? Your Ursidol, it improves your bile flow. It improves your bile duct flow. You can absolutely take that as a prescription, and you can take Digestion GB at the same time because you want to be able to digest fats. Okay. Is there a supplement that will remove more heavy metals and toxins? Yes. If heavy metals and toxins are a problem, which they are for most of us, we all detox them on the daily. Glutathione helps with that. You can do chlorella and cilantro can be helpful with that. You can do a methylated B complex or methylated B12, helps with the detox pathways. There's a really interesting supplement that's called, it's by Quicksilver, and it's called Liver Sauce. But they have this thing called Push Catch, which you take this little liver sauce and then you do this little binder, which just kind of has like charcoal and some clay in it and such. And you do both of those every day for like a week, and then you wait for 4 or 5 days and you do it again. It's a really cool, interesting liver detox that's really helpful for heavy metals. Sometimes you need a little binder. Be careful about glutathione doing too much. You can detox really fast. and then you can feel a little sick. So go slow. Do I know about sulfide SIBO? You're really sick. Yes. Do you have a doctor's helping you with that? Or are you on a medication? Because you really might need to be on some Xifaxan to kind of kill off some of this stuff because you're really overgrown right now. It's a sulfur producing bacteria. So it can make you, it really makes you feel very sick. It can cause mast cells. It can damage the gut lining. It can cause leaky gut. And then you have slow motility. It's a deep hole to crawl out of, but I can help you with that. It's just a whole thing. I just would love to know if you're getting some other help too. It's tricky, right? We got to kill off some stuff. Somebody has Hashimoto's, MTHFR, HEDS, and day one, quit dairy. All my symptoms I had for 3 years disappeared. Nice. Nice. That's amazing. That's awesome. Isn't that wild? Dairy can be so triggering, and so can gluten. It's so, so wild. And yeah, okay. Yeah. Some people are saying they can do a little butter. Some people can't. Okay. What else do we have? Yes. So, yes, SIBO is a nightmare. I don't know if you can get started on a supplement. One of my favorite supplements for SIBO is it's Metagenics, and it's Candibactin AR and Candibactin BR. Those are if you want to learn a lot about SIBO, there's a cool website with a naturopath that's up in Oregon, and it's siboinfo.com. Love her. She's got a whole lot of stuff on SIBO. That might be helpful. Okay, somebody has ANA of 1 in 12, maybe 1280, 1250. I have fibromyalgia, rheumatoid arthritis, and ankylosing spondylitis. You're like, oh, what a great trifecta, right? Okay, so I think the biggest thing for you would be to figure out your food triggers. Food is a big trigger here, especially with rheumatoid arthritis. Holy cow. So what I do in my autoimmune shift group is we all decide to go on autoimmune paleo. And that's a restrictive diet for a little while just to try to figure out what your food triggers are. It's like, get rid of the nightshades, get rid of the lectins, get rid of dairy and eggs and grains, just all of them. Do some meats and veggies, right? For a while. And then after 2 or 3 weeks, you start introducing one food at a time. And I tell you, Tiff Snyder, if you might feel really different being on an autoimmune paleo diet. If you want to pop in with my group, we do this on the monthly. We all get on an autoimmune paleo diet. We start moving foods back in, and we really try to figure out what our food triggers are. That's a big deal, and especially with ankylosing spondylitis. We want to calm this down if we can, because you can get a lot of fusion in your joints with ankylosing spondylitis. That makes me worried. I don't like it. I don't like all those together. Let me know if I can help you, okay? What else? Oh, thoughts on Plaquenil. Plaquenil, hydroxychloroquine, it's an immune system modulator. They actually used it in COVID to try to calm the immune system down. It was helpful. It's a very helpful medication for some. It can calm down the immune system. Name of the game is calming down the immune system, right? So if you can calm it down, and then we can dig in and figure out what your triggers are, then we can braid all this together, right? Yeah. So I really like that. So I kind of skipped some. I was just kind of going back here. Okay. I use ashwagandha for cortisol management. I love ashwagandha. And ashwagandha is great. Magnolia root is great. L-theanine is super helpful. Someone has a 21-year-old daughter with POTS after mono, now getting tested for chronic EBV, running like a low-grade fever. Okay, so she probably is having a really hard time clearing all this out. Yes, and even if she got a rhinovirus on top of that, or any other, like the flu, that would really pile on for her. We need to figure out, here's what I would do with that, is I would run a really wide amount of just traditional blood work from Quest. Just like look at the red blood cell, zinc and magnesium and vitamin A and vitamin D, all those things. Also figuring out what her blood sugar is doing, because sometimes 21-year-olds don't eat as much protein as they should, and they're not really stable on their blood sugar. I would put her on an anti-inflammatory diet like meats and vegetables, right? And broths and soups. If she can tolerate it, if she isn't getting hives, be careful with broths. Get off of gluten and dairy. Get on some electrolytes through the day. Salt for her POTS, making sure this is like brain inflammation that's causing this POTS, probably from this virus. So yeah, let me know if you need some help. I'm happy to take a peek at your blood work. If you want to have me run blood work for you, Quest Cash Labs is great. I can do this in any state. I'm in California, it doesn't matter. Someone was asking if with insurance and such, if you have insurance, sometimes you can get your insurance to cover Quest Labs. Amazing, super helpful. But they don't tend to pay for functional medicine, which is terrible. Not a lot of work with, preventative strategies, which is really a bummer. Unless you have I'm a nutritionist too. We often put it under nutrition, but oftentimes it doesn't get covered. So it's hard. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So ashwagandha for anxiety. Okay. ANA titer 12 and 80 mitotic spindle. So everybody has a little different pattern, right? And some of these patterns can go like one pattern, which is kind of interesting, is a dense fine speckled DFS. That pattern doesn't tend to go toward anything autoimmune. It tends to be just a stressed immune system. It can be viral, it can be inflammation, things like that. So this is when we figure out the pattern, this is what we want to know. So mitotic spindle pattern is really not very specific. We want to kind of keep testing for you with the mitotic spindle, Denise, because it's often associated with like chronic inflammation, post-viral syndrome, post-COVID syndrome. It can be drug-induced. This is just like something's not right. So I want you to do an ANA cascade, and I want you to keep digging, okay? Does autism and autoimmune disease have a connection? Yes. So the immune system, if you see an autistic child, there's a higher correlation that the mom has autoimmune disease. This is the tricky part, right? There's a lot of reasons for getting autism. It's not just that, but there's a connection there. There's one bridge there. So if the mom's attacking their body, is the mom also attacking the fetus and creating issues there? That's a theory, right? There's so many thoughts with autoimmunity and autism. It's a really big area of study. It's been really interesting to kind of dig into that. Any supplements that help with retroviruses? So any viral stuff. We want you to make sure you have the basics, right? I want your blood sugar to be steady. I want you to be on glutathione. I want you to be on vitamin D. I want you to be sleeping. I want all those things, basic things, to be in place. And then I want you to be on, you can be on some antivirals. Andrographis is a really good one. Kudzu root is a really good one. Why am I not thinking? Sometimes mushrooms can be helpful. Other things, being on vitamin C, making sure your food triggers aren't up. These are all things that help. It's a whole body thing when your body's being overwhelmed by viruses, right? So it's kind of like, look at the blood work and we fix what we find, right? It's hard to give you total recipes, but those are some ideas. Hopefully that helps. Fishhead, thank you for being in the session. Yes, of course, I'm happy to give out the free information. I'm just kind of want to flood you guys with all this. So I'm not an MD. For Zooms, I can give you guys a super bill to send to your insurance. Will it cover? Probably not. But also, if you have like a HSA or an FSA, it can cover something like this, if that's helpful. Someone gets a red rash. Hold on a second. Sorry. Red rash that's smooth and appears on your chest and your face. Okay, is your red rash like this? Right here? Right here? This is called a butterfly rash. It's the rash that kind of tends to go toward lupus. It's sun sensitive. Is it all here, and maybe here? That can be more rosacea. Both can be autoimmune in nature, but if it's here, then we're worried a little bit more about lupus, okay? This is what happened with my daughter. She started getting a rash that looked like a lupus rash, and then she was super gluten intolerant, and all her joints started to hurt. And I was like, what the hell is going on here? And she has an ANA marker that's going to go toward lupus. So this is why I've developed this entire program, because of her, my daughter. She's really, really chill now. Her autoimmune markers back down, lowered down. They're 1 in 80. They're just sitting there. And we're watching it because she's 26 and I'm worried about when she gets pregnant. I do not want this to drive forward, but she could get lupus. So, and I have cousins who have lupus. I have an ANA marker too. So it's like I took my blood work and I was like, what? I have an ANA too? It's crazy. Also, low iron and low ferritin, ANA titer. Okay, so when I see somebody with low iron and low ferritin and iron anemia, the first thing we think about is we think about heavy bleeding, okay? Losing blood. The second thing we think about is gluten intolerance. Because if you are eating gluten and you're ANA, your gut is probably a little swollen and now you have malabsorption of iron. Okay. So that is I see it all the time. And if you could just get yourself off gluten, just get off of dairy, just bite the bullet. Man, I mean, we have to have like a little funeral for gluten and dairy, don't we? It's so sad. I know. There's a lot. California is helpful in doing a lot of gluten-free stuff. Do you mind giving me the brands of glutathione? Yes. So, okay. So I like Apex Energetics, Trisomal Glutathione. Trisomal with a Z, glutathione. That's my favorite. I like Symbiotica with a C, C-Y-M, Symbiotica. I also like Quicksilver, glutathione. Those are 3 liquids. Now, you can get other ones. There's other brands that are good. Not saying those are the only brands. Those are just ones I carry in my office. I like, if it's a capsule one, I like AC glutathione. Almost every reputable brand does have a glutathione. If you want a link, let me know. Just put it in the DMs. Just put your name. All I need is your name and your email, and I can just send you a link. And then you can order. I can send you a link for all 3, and you could just order what you want. They're just professional grade supplements, so you have to have a link. Otherwise, you just get garbage off of Amazon. I think I have lupus. Okay, if you think you have lupus, my friend, Brianne, I think we gotta rein you in, my friend. We gotta get you supported. So here's what I put together. I've been racking my brain trying to teach everybody how to do all these things, trying to figure out one person at a time on how to solve all this. I've made 13 different videos that go in depth about every single thing: chemicals, foods, viral infections, leaky gut, supplement links, all these resources, what labs to get, what your labs mean, and an autoimmune support group. It's purchasable through my website, darlabooth.com. It's like an online course. There's a link on there, but also it's in my bio. There's a link tree. It's called the Autoimmune Shift. And we start one this next week. We start our meeting on Friday. So if you want to hop in, it's $179 to do the course. If as long as you want to stay in the group, it's $50 a month to stay in the group, to be in the autoimmune support group with all these other people that all have autoimmunity. We brainstorm, we do Q&As, I answer all your questions. It's like a live every single week that you just tune in on, okay? So if you have lupus, my friend Brianne, you need some support. We got to figure this out, because medicine alone can't support you. They try, they just don't know all this other stuff. I mean, it's just tough. Okay, let's keep figuring out. Okay, thoughts on intrahepatic arthritis. Okay, so this is a bacteria that's overgrown in your gut lining. So I would get you, Jess, I would get you a GI map. I would take a look and see what's in your gut. Do you have something, like, did you get food poisoning or something? Did that happen to you before you got this arthritis? I just wonder. That's one trigger. I mean, there can be other reasons, but that's the thing that kind of pops in my head first. I'm happy to run a test on you guys. If you want to test, this is what's so cool. Fullscript and Rupa connected together and joined together as one company. Rupa is a company where I can order any lab, anything, GI map, a Dutch, anything, regular Quest, and send it to Mississippi, send it anywhere, because I'm in California. So that's super, super helpful. Okay, Paris, you have emotional stress. How can you find relief? Find some ashwagandha. Fishhead really did a good job of telling you all about that. Find some magnolia root. If you want a link to Cortisol Manager, I can give you a link. That's my favorite supplement to take. You can just take it through the day, degrade cortisol through the day. How can you tell the difference between chronic EBV reactivation and autoimmune? Such a great question. So EBV is tricky. We have it. Our body made antibodies. It's like when EBV comes in, which is mono, Epstein-Barr, it's all the same thing, right? When that comes in, your immune system is like, oh, we are freaking out. And it makes like wanted posters, puts it all around and goes, if you see this virus, attack it. So then your whole immune system is super informed. Those are IgG and IgA antibodies, okay? Now, then if it reactivates, you get something called IgM. That means 911, the monster's loose, IgM, okay? It's activating. We're going to attack that stuff. So that means it's actively happening. Now, you can have a dormant EBV infection, and then you can get super worn down, and then all of a sudden it reactivates. It's like it surfaces. It's like a mushroom. Just you add water and there it is, right? So it's just waiting for you. It's opportunistic. A lot of these bacteria and viruses are very opportunistic. So when you're down, they can pile on. So when you're down, you can feel like garbage, and then you can feel like more garbage, and you can feel like more garbage. So they do trigger autoimmunity. It triggers Hashimoto's. It can trigger lupus. Stanford just came out with a study on that. Okay. I think it could trigger any autoimmunity. It's very destabilizing. Epstein-Barr and COVID are the number one two herpes viruses. I mean, Epstein-Barr kind of lives in that land too. Those are the most aggressive viruses that are just such an annoyance for autoimmunity. It triggers autoimmunity. Okay. So, but, okay, is rice a safe food for you? That's a really good question. So rice is a little spiky on your blood sugar, right? If you eat too much rice, your blood sugar is going to spike up. That's a little bit, when your blood sugar gets high, it can make your immune system drop down. Okay. So that's a thing to consider. Now, there's a lot of arsenic that floats around in the water and the soil where they actually grow rice. So you can get a high level of arsenic, heavy metal exposure when you eat a lot of rice. So yes and no, right? I mean, rice is gluten-free, but there's other issues with rice too. So I'd say, just you can eat it if you're not reacting to it, eat it occasionally. Don't eat it every day. Okay. Okay. Let's see what else. I'm starting to get on to all these questions. I'm so glad you guys popped on. Oh, sorry, I've been ignoring YouTube. How do you check for leaky gut? Great question. I don't know if you're popping off of Facebook or if you're popping off of YouTube, but checking for leaky gut, best test for leaky gut is not a stool test. It's a company called Cyrex, Cyrex. They do a panel where they look for occludin and zonulin in your blood work. They look for lipopolysaccharides. Now, occludin and zonulin is like simple leaky gut. Lipopolysaccharides is complex leaky gut, where you have an overgrowth of a bad bacteria that got into your gut. It's a gram-negative bacteria. It attached to the wall. It's opening up your gut, and it is a disaster. It's creating a giant hot mess in your gut. My friend here that has severe SIBO, I'll bet you have lipopolysaccharides. I'll bet you have bad gram-negative bacteria that's not coming off the gut lining. And I'll tell you, we got to kill it. We've got to put Saccharomyces boulardii in there to kind of dislodge it. That's a good bacteria, like a probiotic, it's a yeast. We've got to bind up this chemicals that come off of the bad bacteria called IgG. Like you can take it orally and it binds up. Like it's a whole ass giant disaster that can be fixed, but it takes time. But we have to do it to get your health back. So yes, we can test for leaky gut. The best test you can do is a blood test. Gut tests are hard because what if you eat a bunch of fibrous food that scratches the lining of your intestines? It just shows occludin and zonulin in the stool. It's just, I don't like that. Are there viruses that target muscles? I don't really know. Here's what I know about viruses. They come into your system, your immune system attacks, and that causes your muscles to be very achy because we're just exhausted in the fight. And when we kill the viruses, the dying viruses and the dying bacteria create a bunch of like junk that causes your muscles to be in pain. Okay, so it's almost like they call it a Herxheimer reaction, When you're killing off, even if you're on an antibiotic, you can get a Herxheimer reaction where all your muscles can be super achy and sore because that's the toxins of the flu that you're killing. It's the toxins of the COVID. It's all the toxins that you're killing off. I hope that helps. Had a concussion 10 years ago, still dizzy, head pressure, light and sound sensitivity. Whew, okay. Oh my God, head injuries. Oh my goodness. Okay, so here's a couple things I want you to think about. I want you to think about getting on a ketogenic diet. Ketogenic diet is my number one solution for you. Get on a ketogenic diet like it's your job. Keto diet can cause, it makes your brain, instead of using glucose for fuel, which we use, it makes your brain use ketones for fuel. And it's highly anti-inflammatory. And it can heal it can heal a blood-brain barrier breach. It can heal a concussion. It can heal a brain injury. So I want you to get on a ketogenic diet. I want you to get on DHA fish oils. There's an EPA and DHA in a fish oil. I want you to get on DHA. It's more expensive because it crosses the blood-brain barrier. I want you to get on a supplement called NeuroFlam. NeuroFlam is from Apex Energetics, and it has a bunch of flavonoids in it, crosses the blood-brain barrier, decreases the inflammation. Okay? If you want help with these supplements, tell me. I would even put you on like a tributrin, like a butyrate, acetate, propionate supplement that would help to seal like a leaky blood-brain barrier. Let me know if you need some help. Please message me. You can DM me and just put your name and put your email and say, I want concussion supplements, and I will send them to you, because that's a disaster. We can't have that. We need to heal that. Okay. That's not autoimmune, but it's a brain injury, and it's really, really scary. I was put on 2 different antibiotics for babesia and presumed Lyme, plus a history of UC ulcerative colitis. Maybe I'm sure my gut is destroyed. Well, listen, there's always hope, right? If you have a destroyed gut, we would probably run a Cyrax leaky gut panel on you. Just see I think it's $230 or something like that to run that blood work. I would do that, see what we're dealing with. You can repair a highly damaged gut. And if you have a history of ulcerative colitis, you already have a lot going on. Figuring out food triggers could be really important for you. Getting on a short chain fatty acid supplement. Get on something called like RepairVite, which has glutamine and aloe vera and calendula and marshmallow root, and it heals the gut lining. Okay. This is going to be a battle, but I'm happy to help you if you want some help. Let me know. Okay. Also, can a leaky gut cause acne? Absolutely. And so can eating dairy. So if you get off of gluten and dairy, you might heal your skin. If your skin is broken all out, your gut is probably inflamed too. Okay. Whatever's happening on the skin is probably happening in the gut. So I just want you to think about that. Like, we need to heal something there. It's not just about putting topicals. This is inside. This is inside your body. Okay. You think about that. Paris, send me the info. What do you want me to send you? Can you put it in my DMs? I'm sure that my husband's going to have a really boring movie on tonight, and I'm going to be on TikTok answering all your questions. You got to do something while you watch boring movies, right? With husbands. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's not great. Anyway, so tell me what you want. Give me your name and your email and say, I want blah, blah, blah. And I'll just be on full script and I'll just send you a link. Okay. Oh, Amber, thank you for being on the live. Thank you for hopping on. I never know who's going to hop on. So I just start going blah, blah, blah. And whoever wants to be on can help and be on. I'll help you with whatever, because this is complicated. Autoimmunity is complicated. You don't have enough information. I studied this I've done 1,200 hours of functional medicine training, but 200 of those hours is autoimmunity. Like, that's my jam. I just work in that. I work on all the things too. I do a lot with brain injuries, but I do a lot with autoimmunity. So come over, hop into my group. It's so fun. If you guys want to work on this like every week, listen. And then you get so much better that you start coaching other people, which is super fun. I have some people who've been in my program for like a year and a half, and they're still in because they just love to be like mentors, which is super fun. Okay, so Amber, you have an appointment with that rheumatologist on Tuesday, positive ANA, butterfly rash, and my fingers are blue. Okay, your fingers are blue because you have Raynaud's. It means that, the tips of your fingers probably, right? The tips of your fingers are going to get cold. They're going to get white. It's like vasospasms in the blood vessels. And so it constricts the blood vessels and then it releases them and then they turn bright red. Is that right? That's Raynaud's. No big deal. It's a thing. Okay. You have the butterfly rash. I want you to ask for an ANA cascade. Can you get an ANA cascade? If you can't, let me know. I can send you a link. And we want to see, that breaks down a bunch of different tissues, right? And then it's all covered by insurance if you're doing it through insurance. Cash labs, you can get it. It's not that expensive. It might be $50 to run. Then you can know exactly what tissues are involved. And we know for sure, if you think that it's lupus, they're also going to run something called an ENA. ENA has like all those little subcomponents that we're really looking for lupus, okay? You want to tell them butterfly rash. If you have a picture of yourself with your butterfly rash, I want you to show it to them because sometimes they're like, yeah, you have a rash. I want you to show them, say, this is what it looks like, okay? Don't be scared. If you have lupus, reach out to me. We'll put you in my program. You can do a self-paced course, learn everything you need to know about autoimmunity. There's resources, there's supplement links. I give all of my people in my course a 25% discount on supplements. So it's the cheapest way to get supplements. There's an autoimmune support group. Come over, get some support. Don't be scared. I'm just going to help you. Okay. And I'll help walk you through it. I know it's very scary, but don't worry about it. Amber, there's a lot of shit that's going on. I have a lot of people in my group that have lupus. It's okay. Listen, if we have what we have, we're not going to freak out about it. We're just going to get the data. We're going to understand what we have. We're going to march through the answers of like, well, what can we do to solve for this? Get on vitamin D. I'm going to change up your diet. I'm going to probably put you on glutathione. We're going to see if you have leaky gut. We're going to make sure you're sleeping. We're going to make sure your hormones are right. We're going to make sure that you don't have a bunch of chemicals. Oh, and you're not cooking on Teflon. Guys, if you have a Teflon pan, throw it out. Just do it. Throw it out. It has that PFAS forever chemicals in it. Don't do it. We were trapped into something terrible. It's like when we decided to all eat margarine. Oh man, what were we thinking? Whole generation of people on low fat diet. They all have diabetes. What a mess. Haley has an ESR of 55 and a negative ANA, but bone pain and night sweats and nausea 24/7 and a normal CBC. Okay, Haley, we need more data. Why is your ESR 55? Like, why are you inflamed, right? Bone pain and night sweats and nausea. Something's happening. You need more data. I wonder if your doctor would run more labs. Okay, if you get on, Haley, can you hop on my link tree? It's in my bio. And there's a link in there that says essential labs for everybody. Click down that, download it, bring it to your doctor and say, I want all these labs. Okay. And if you don't get any help, reach out to me. I'm happy to send you a link to get whatever you need. Okay. I'm super happy to help because that's super. You're like, what the heck is going on? Okay. So Pam, you got your labs back and you're positive speckled ANA, high titer, having a lot of pain and hair loss. Okay. So let's talk about that. Speckled ANA, high titer. So speckled can move to a lot of different things. I always want to look it up on chat because I don't want to miss something. Speckled is like not specific yet, right? So speckled could go toward Sjogren's, which is dry mouth and dry eyes. It could go toward lupus. It could go toward rheumatoid arthritis. It can go toward Hashimoto's. Isn't that weird? It can go towards something called undifferentiated connective tissue disease, or just like joint things. There's a little scleroderma overlap there. So we don't know with speckled. Speckled's kind of like choose your own adventure, A through F, all of them. It could be a lot of different things. So get an ANA cascade to see if there's any specific tissues involved. If there's not, that's amazing. Great. You haven't moved toward this. The immune system kind of goes from A to Z, right? We don't want to get to Z. We want to stay at A, B, C, and D. If you don't want to get specific, if your immune system doesn't want to get specific about what it's attacking, and you have these generalized joint pain and a little bit of rash and you're fatigued, okay, we can work with that. But once you get all the way to full-blown blowing up lupus and it's damaging your kidneys, it's harder to manage, right? We have to get more medical intervention, but we still braid in functional medicine so that we can help to manage this, okay? So you were having a lot of pain and hair loss. We want to think about iron. We want to think about your blood sugar. We want to think about testing for Hashimoto's. So Hashimoto's, you're going to do these tests. You're going to do TSH. You're going to do free T4. You're going to do free T3. Then you're going to do thyroglobulin antibodies, and then you're going to do thyroid peroxidase antibodies. Those 5 I like to run just to kind of see if there's Hashimoto's and see how the thyroid is working. If your thyroid's running low, you lose your hair. If your iron's low, you lose your hair. If your blood sugar's too high, you lose your hair. If you're inflamed, you lose your hair. Okay. So we've got to figure out what it doesn't mean. It's kind of like, okay, why, right? ANA, why? Hair loss, why? We have some more digging to do on you. Okay. I would get off of gluten and dairy, get on vitamin D, see if you feel better. Sometimes just those 3, you're like, oh my God, I feel so much better. Great. Let's dig some more, right? It's not enough to you need to know more. You need to know a lot of things. Listen, I need you to get your Darla Booth PhD in autoimmunity. I'm going to make a course like that. I'm going to call it Darla Booth Autoimmune, and I'm going to give you guys little cap and gowns because I want you to know so much. I want to dump all my information into your brain. Fishhead saying DHA fish oil. DHA fish oil is a type of fish oil. There's fish oil. Okay. Fish oil is EPA and DHA. It's both. If you have a brain injury, I want you to be on DHA specifically. Now, EPA reduces inflammation. Amazing. So you could be on a blend, but I want you to be on enough if you have a brain injury for it to get across the blood-brain barrier into the brain, and it decreases inflammation. It's very effective. And if you have a head injury, I want you to be on a ketogenic diet. And I want you to be on a ketogenic diet like it's your job. You just got to do that. I mean, head injuries, concussions, any kind of traumatic brain injuries like strokes, seizures, ketogenic diet. Okay. Super, super helpful. Let's see. Someone says rheumatologist dismissed my symptoms and opted her own labs after I asked for an ANA cascade. Okay. So this is what's tricky. Do you have, you know what, did you get anything positive? Was anything, positive? If you kind of do an ENA, test, does anything came back positive? So you can also message me and I can always send you an ANA cascade through FullScript if that helps. Or I can send you a lab form. You can use your own PPO health insurance and it works. Yes. Denise. Yes. Or somebody says, Kim says, Dr. Darla Booth. Yep. That's me. That's me. You can always look me up on my website. It's just darlabooth.com. My website's getting rebuilt. It's kind of doesn't look great yet, but we're rebuilding it just for autoimmunity and functional medicine. Working on it. Anyway, I've just finally built my course though. It just finally came out this past week. I'm so excited for it to be there. I had another course that it was not that great. This course is better. It's a little bit cleaner. It's easier to join. So those of you who want to join my course, just go into my link tree in my bio and copy paste that into your browser, and it'll say, welcome to the shift. It's called the autoimmune shift, where you make small shifts in your lifestyle to calm down your autoimmunity. That's the goal. Okay. So, and you can get on darlabooth.com and there's a little square there that says online course. You can click on that too. My marketing person is working on I'm like, give me an easy link. My God. She says, okay, it's darlabooth.com/compass/. The specific course, I called it Compass because you're getting your initial compass to try to figure out where you are, right? darlabooth.com/compass/ brings you right there. I have the Compass course, which is less expensive. This is what I want all of you to look into. I have a more expensive course that's more concierge for people who want to meet with me for hours in the week, and it's more intensive, but you guys don't need that. I have everything I need in that Compass course. Somebody just says, I got diagnosed with HSV1. Can this trigger a positive ANA? That's herpes simplex virus 1. Yes. In November, positive HSV1, and the December positive ANA. Absolutely. Did you get run down? Did you allow that virus to kind of pop up and get more active? We have a bunch of viruses in our body. I want you to think about it like this. It's like if we have a cellar, the old houses that have cellars. It's like you have a virus and you open up the cellar and you throw it down the cellar and you close the door. and it stays down there in the cellar. It stays in your body forever. But when you're run down, when you're tired, when you're not eating well, when you've not taken care of yourself, that cellar door creaks open and here come the viruses and they come out and they reactivate. They're opportunistic, right? So we want to make sure that if you feel like it was a viral trigger, we want to think about vitamin D. We want to think about glutathione. We want to think about antivirals for you, okay? There's some really good antivirals. Andrographis is one. ANDROGRAPHIS. That's a really good antiviral. I'm so happy you guys popped in. This is so great. Both my sons have acne. What do you say to fix the gut? Well, we need to clean up their diet. Okay. We need to, listen, teenage boys, they're a disaster, aren't they? I have a 24-year-old son that I'm still working on his diet. And does he listen to me? Sometimes. He came home the other night and he had pizza and beers. And I was like, you know that you're going to get diarrhea because it's gluten and dairy and you are gluten and dairy intolerant. He goes, I know, Mom. I don't care. Okay. And yet my daughter is on a super strict diet and her ANA has gone negative. He doesn't have autoimmunity. What a pain. Anyway, these boys are tough, right? Add vegetables, add meats, add eggs, add nuts and seeds, trim down their high fructose corn syrup consumption, trim down their gluten and dairy consumption. If they can get off dairy, their face will probably really clear up. Dairy is a big trigger. I hope that helps. Boys are so hard. Yeah, Haley, that's the thing. This is why I was so driven to make this course for people to take, because Haley, you might go through this course and go, oh my gosh, it's a viral trigger. And also I have food triggers and I've had leaky gut my whole life. Okay, let's solve for that. Someone else might say, I had this big chemical exposure. I had a war vet person from they went to Iraq and they got exposed to these burn pits. Autoimmunity. It was a chemical exposure, right? So every time this person even goes to like Ace Hardware and goes down the aisle of like with the chemicals, gets so sick. So we've got to do detox stuff. We've got to do lots and lots of glutathione with this person. Lots of liver detoxes. I'm just trying to get this person to not get cancer, right? Hi, Sybil. Sybil was on the other day. So glad, Sybil, you're back on. Can GLP-1 help with leaky gut? Okay, GLP-1s are really, really interesting. They're so interesting. I mean, they're really calming some of the immune system down with my patients. So it helps lower fat, belly fat. And belly fat, when you get a lot of belly fat on your belly, women or men, it creates its own organ. It creates inflammation all by itself. So now you have high inflammation from just belly fat. So if you get on a GLP-1 and you're reducing your belly fat, you're reducing your inflammation. So how can I complain about that? That's great. And also their food noise is starting to go away. So they're starting to feel like, oh, I can eat better, right? I can do better. I can make better choices because my cravings are down. So we can use that as a jump off point. We can also make sure you're eating enough protein. We can also make sure that you're not losing muscle, right? We also have to make sure that your motility is okay with your intestines because it can cause you to be really, really constipated. So there's some caveats to GLP-1s. Go the smallest dose you need to, if you need to. It doesn't necessarily help with leaky gut. Yeah, that's a little bit of a stretch, but it can help with inflammation in general. This person has ESR of 36 and generalized body pain. Yeah, Paris does. I can't remember. Do you have an ANA positive? Do you have an autoimmune marker too? Why do you have an ESR of 36? Do you have high blood sugar? Do you have any prediabetes? What is happening? Why? I don't know. That's curious. I'd love to talk to you, Paris, about that. With family history of RA, your dad, should I prepare for that diagnosis? Okay, Pam, we have to dig into this, okay? 80% of autoimmunity is women. So your dad having it is more rare, right? But he's a 20%er. So it does there's a genetic predisposition. Now, do you have any joint pain? Do you have any swollen knuckles? Here's the two markers I want you to run. One, it's a rheumatoid panel, okay, through Quest. Rheumatoid factor is one, and anti-CCP, it's like citrullonated protein, anti-CCP and rheumatoid factor, okay? If those are negative, you don't have it. But we should find out, because if you have it, we can calm it down. And we don't want you to go into a bunch of joint destruction, right? I'm sure if your dad has it, you probably see joint destruction. We don't want that. We can calm this down. Okay. Okay. What else? So many questions. I love these questions. They're great. Okay. What does homogeneous usually point toward? Homogeneous can go toward lupus. It can. But what else can it go toward? We're gonna ask chat just to make sure, because I never want to give you guys the wrong information, right? I just know what I know, but sometimes my brain doesn't always remember all the things. Okay, so it can go toward undifferentiated connective tissue disease. It could go, that which means that your joints can hurt and your muscles can hurt. It can go toward lupus. It can go toward, it can be a drug-induced lupus. There are some drugs that actually trigger an ANA that looks like lupus. So take a look if you're taking any kind of medications. Or it can be early evolving autoimmunity that's not specific yet. So what you want to do is you want to get an ANA cascade. You want to get an ENA. ENA is specific for lupus, just to make sure that you don't have that lupus rolling. This is a great opportunity. This is Benny the Frenchie. I love that name. That's great. To figure out what you could potentially go toward and turn this thing around. So it's something that I want to teach you so many things. I mean, if I teach you all the things that's in my program, I'll be just on a live for like the next 13 hours. I could, but then you might fall asleep. But this is why I made these videos for you to kind of like go through and learn all these different things. And then you have links and resources as you go through, right? To see like what it pertains to you. Because it really could, one thing could be triggering you and another person could have the same diagnosis and it could be a completely different trigger, completely different solution. This is why I have to have you kind of go through this education and then you come to me and say, I think it's this. And then I say, good, you need to focus on X, Y, Z. Okay. I can help you kind of narrow it down, right? And if you are on a medication too, fine. We can weave it all together. Let's see. What is at least an anti-Ro LA? Okay. So the ELISA is probably the way that they tested you. Okay. So that is anti-Ro LA is going to be something completely different, but the ELISA is how they tested you. Hold on. Can we get chat to work? Come on, chat. Show me some things. Okay, let me get specific about this. So we have the anti-Ro, which is SSA, and you have the anti-LA, which is SSB. You're like, whatever. What does that mean? So anti-Ro can go towards Sjogren's, which is the most common thing. Dry mouth, dry eyes. Okay. It can go toward lupus, but it's more cutaneous lupus, like skin lupus, like really photosensitive rashes. It can overlap with undifferentiated connective tissue disease, which means that your joints are hurting and your muscles can hurt. They can even call that fibromyalgia. Anti-LA, it's strongly linked to Sjogren's. So if I threw a dart at what I think it could be Sjogren's. Do you have a dry mouth and dry eyes? It could be that. It usually appears with anti-Ro. Okay, every time I look that up, I learn more. There's so much to know. I had COVID 10 times. No, Christy. No. Oh my gosh. And then a miscarriage in 2024 leading to my lupus diagnosis. I was saying, oh my goodness, I kept getting unwell and my GP wasn't listening until I had a miscarriage. Holy guacamole, Christy. COVID it's just been the biggest nightmare. It's just, and it was so hard with COVID. Like, do I get the vaccine? Do I not? Do I just go ahead and get the sickness? It was just like all of it was triggering. It didn't matter if you got the vaccine or if you got the disease or if you got both. It just all chalked up to be a nightmare for autoimmunity. I have so many more autoimmune patients. And this is a lot of the reasons why I'm doing this, because I just have so many autoimmune patients. And I need to teach you all at once because I don't have enough hours in the day to help everybody. So, okay. Christy, what I'm wondering is if you have antiphospholipid syndrome. Do you have antiphospholipid syndrome? It is, I'm going to lipid, I can't remember. Oh, it's the anticardiolipin antibodies. Antiphospholipid syndrome means that you clot a lot. And when you have COVID, it causes the inflammation to go up. It causes the platelets to go up and it causes you to clot. But it would be double if you had an antibody called anti-cardiolipin antibody, it just means that you clot, and you can have a miscarriage from clotting. So do you have that? I would ask your doctor to run all the clotting factors. See if you are a clotter, if that's a problem for you. We want to think about all the genetic anti-clotting factors. Okay, so take a look at that. I think you developed some autoimmunity toward all this. Sorry, I have to plug in my phone. My phone's like 911. I'm about to die. Okay, sorry, phone. Okay, I'm gonna probably stop streaming. I've been streaming. Bye, YouTube and Facebook. See you later.